Hello and welcome to my Ever Messy Art Studio. My name is Keeks, and today we are going to be doing the Makers of Mixed Media Art Challenge for June, for the June collage prompts. And the collage prompts are architectural elements, positivity, hands, fabric and textile, bugs, and books or fairy tale. So I'm also going to be adding an extra element to this. June is also Pride Month. So this video will have a lot of references to Pride, a lot of discussion. If Pride is not something you are into or believe in, please skip this video. I am a supporter of Pride. I am a member of the community as a PANS person, and I would honestly rather you not make any rude comments about Pride or your political beliefs on my channel. Instead, just skip this one. Maybe it's not for you. And that's okay too. Everybody is entitled to what they believe, but I am a love is love kind of girl, and please don't, I don't know, spew hatred on my channel. That would be very disappointing to me. So with the sticky stuff out of the way, let's go ahead and start. So I want to make my very first picture in my Yeehaw journal. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Earlier I saw a page that I think I can use. Now this is kind of an awkwardly shaped journal just because it's so thick. So let me get to the page I want. I really liked this page right here. So let me find a clip of some sort. I'm certain I have clips on my desk somewhere. It's just a matter of finding them. There we go. Here's a big old paper clip. That'll help us. So what I was thinking about doing is doing like a cityscape and having lots of different pride colors involved in it. I thought that would be really cool. So that is what I'm going to try to make. I wonder if I'm getting caught on something behind this, because this is kind of a textury journal. There we go. Yay, it's open. So we're going to be working with this page here. And first I want to make kind of like a background to go with this. So I've brought out a few different stamps that I think will look really cool in the background. And once again, I do want to put out there, I am a bad stamp mama. Do not leave paint on your foam stamps. It will ruin them eventually. I don't really have an excuse for why I do this. I'm just lazy. But please, please, please take care of your stamps better than I do. But I am using a few different stamps here. So one of the stamps I want to use for bug is going to be this one by Eddie. This is a spotted lanternfly, and it is currently one of my favorite stamps at the moment. I can't stop using it. It's so perfect. So I'm going to use that one. Also, because I'm making this a Pride page, I thought it would be cool to use some people's stuff from the community. So I wanted to use his stamp. I'm also going to use Carry the Crafters stamp here. That's also from PM Artist Studio. And then I have two other stamps that I really think, or two other artists that I have stamps I think really will go well with this theme. One of them is from Yolande. She has this really cool like bubble wrap heart stamp, and I thought maybe that would be fun. And then I also have Karen McCoy's Positive Words stamp. So it has peace, love, joy, and grace. So I'm going to start with painting and stamping first and go from there. And you're going to be seeing a lot of rainbow and a lot of happiness. So let's go ahead and get some colors out. Here is a little roller because I'm going to be rolling paint down onto my gel plate before I stamp. So let's see here, what colors do we need? We need rainbow. So let me start picking out some little colors here. Here's an orange, here's a blue, here's a green. Let's see here. Here's a red. Here's a yellow. So we got Roy, G, but we need violet. Purple. Here's purple. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like a little dot of paint for each color. So I've got red. And here, let's zoom out just a little bit so you can see my whole desk a little bit better. There we go. Here's the orange. Hey, sweetheart.
Want this?
Yeah, just set it on my desk behind me, bud. Thank you.
Sorry.
And then we've got a yellow. Green. And I'm putting them really close together on the gel plate, that way I can get all these colors hopefully in here. Blue. And that is not a purple like I thought it was. That is a little bit of indigo. Oops, so we still need a violet. Violet, oh, that's violet. Aha, here's a purple. Oops, this one's got a string on it. We don't want that string there. There we go. So we've got some rainbow in here. And then we're gonna roll it out. And let it just get all smushy and nice. Gonna roll that out on the paper. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take Carry the Crafter's little squares first and dunk it in. So this is what it looks like on the stamp right now, and I want to put this one kind of in the middle. Like that. So that looks really good. And then I'm just wiping off my stamp. Like I said, bad stamp mama, all you have to do is pop them in water. I just never seem to have a bucket of water nearby when I need one. I'm gonna use Yolande's hearts. So that's what this one looks like. I'm gonna plunk those down. And then I'm going to use Eddie's lantern fly, and I'm going to put the lantern fly up here like it's flying away. It didn't quite go as dark as I wanted it to go, so we're going to try it again. Probably starting to run out of paint. So let's try that again. That's better, that's what I want. So now we've got all of those in there. And then I think what I'll do to make sure it really pops is I'm gonna use a little bit of yellow. I'm gonna use yellow for the words and just kind of stamp them around the page. That's gonna be my positivity. Because one of the prompts is to be positive. And I feel like Karen's stamps are extremely positive. So let me just roll that out. And if it doesn't quite show up, because yellow is kind of a fickle color, I will go over it with white pen too. super worried. So here's peace, which I think is important. So I'm going to pop that at the top. All the words are important, really, but so there's some peace there. I definitely want love. So I'm going to get my love all gooey and yellowed. While I'm stamping each of these, I thought maybe I could talk to you about my relationship with the LGBTQ+ community. So as I mentioned in the front of the video, I am what's called pansexual. So with pansexuals, really, I view bodies as kind of like a shell of a person. And when I fall in love with somebody, I fall in love with the person they are themselves, regardless of what their shell is. So even though I'm married to a man, you know, I have a history of dating women. I have a history of dating men. I have a history of dating both. And for me, there's not really a problem with that because I look at the person themselves, and I would say I'm not afraid of who they are or what they are on the outside. It's more about who they are as a person. And I believe that you can love someone for their mind and for their soul. And I've always been like that since I was a kid. When I was in high school, I was actually the vice president my senior year for our LGBT community. We had something called the Gay Straight Alliance. So anybody, whether you were gay or straight, was allowed to join. And what we were was a safe place for children whose parents and family members didn't understand them, and their peers as well. So not only did we spread awareness about what the LGBT community was, but we also offered safety and protection for those people so that they could live life as they were and have a support system. So we did, from what I remember, we met like twice a month or something like that. And there truly are kids out there whose parents do not understand them. And they believe that being gay, lesbian, bisexual, all of those is a choice. For us, we taught that it wasn't a choice. It was who you were. And that you were going to be loved no matter what. And supported no matter what. In my adult life, it's also become important to me to protect the trans community. I feel like that's a community right now that has a lot of, I would say, they have a lot of hate going around for people that are just trying to live their lives and believe their souls are trapped in the wrong body. And, you know, I think there's a really bad stigma, like something that I've heard from generations who may not understand the openness, is people who do not understand it believe these people are perverts, to put it politely. And that's not true at all. Sure, there's a bad apple in every place you go, and that can happen, but honestly, I've been hurt by more straight people than I've ever been hurt by anything else. I am a survivor of sexual assault from when I was a child, and that is something that has always stuck with me and haunts me to this day. And that was done by a straight person. That was not done by somebody in the community, nor have I ever been attacked by a trans person or anything like that. So I very, very strongly believe that those people should have a place to call home, and I believe that they should have a good support system full of love. And I think that's a really hard thing for people to wrap their heads around sometimes. Maybe because it's how you were brought up. I was brought up in a very conservative family. You know, I hid my sexuality from my grandparents. My parents knew, but my grandparents didn't, and still don't unless they watch this video, I guess. You know, I grew up being a really private person because of that. And I think a lot of people do because they're afraid. Because people just aren't very accepting, and I think we live in kind of a scary time right now. Because I feel like when I was in high school, and this is like 15 years ago, something like that, things were finally starting to be accepted more. Like, I feel like there's more of an understanding even with the hatred being there. And I feel like a lot of that has gone away with the current leadership, to where hatred is suddenly back in full force again, which is very unfortunate to those who really struggle, especially with mental health, over what has happened. So I think now more than ever is when everyone should band together and really try to check in on people who you know are struggling, and, you know, offer that shoulder that maybe they didn't even realize that they had for love and support. If you are somebody who, I don't care if you're straight, gay, whatever you are, I would have an ear open for you. So if you ever are in a place where you're struggling and just need to talk it out, maybe you're not accepted, maybe you're in the closet, whatever you are, just know there's always going to be someone out there who's going to be willing to listen to you and who's going to be willing to support you. They just may not know, you know, and that's hard. It's very hard to decide to come out. And I totally understand the fear in that, because there are a lot of hateful people out there, and that's okay. We can go beyond that and show how loving we can be. Hi, Ronan. How are you?
Good, I just went away from the video.
Well, thank you. This is just a regular recording, but I'll keep that in for you.
Okay. Is anybody watching?
No, honey, it's not that kind of video. This one will be released later.
What does released mean?
It means that after I edit it, I'll put it out.
To the other places, because everybody else doesn't want to watch it, this one.
No, I think some people might not want to watch it, but that's okay.
Why isn't anybody watching?
Well, because
Why are you
I'm
drawing?
filming this on my own time. I'm making some buildings and some rainbows.
Oh.
When you have children, it's kind of hard to explain, you know, the different hardships people may be going through. We haven't really had that discussion with Ronan because, you know, he's just turning 6. I don't really think there's a reason to yet. But when he gets older, I hope that he'll be the kind of person who knows it's okay to ask mommy and daddy about those kind of things. And I plan to answer without judgment. And, you know, there may be some things that come out his mouth that he hears from other people that are less than kind, but I want him to be able to know, you know, that he can discuss those things with me. And then hopefully I can clear those things up for him. Because I don't want him growing up in a world of hate. He's just such a sweet kid. I just don't see that happening. And we've always been really open about things, and we try not to glaze over uncomfortable conversations. So I think that's been really good. And you know, not everybody in our family probably agrees with that. I'm okay with that too. But like I said, I just wanted to bring it up because it is Pride Month, and I think it should be about love and all that. But I also know it's about hardship, and everyone has faced something different, you know. As a pans person, one thing that I constantly get is people both inside and outside the community will say, okay, well, you're married to a man. What does that say about you? Well, I'm still who I am. And I still, you know, am fully ingrained in how I know I love. And I still believe in what's right and wrong. And whether you're a pans person or a bisexual person, I think that you belong in the community just fine. The one thing that I used to get from people that really used to piss me off, quite to be honest, is, you know, people would say, okay, well, you either want the best of both worlds or you're just a pretender. And, you know, I was in a very serious relationship with a woman before I met Mason. And I can say with confidence that whether we considered ourselves together or not, we were together for 3 years before, you know, we made anything official. I even went so far as to, it was a relationship where we were far away from each other, and I even went and visited her across country and stayed with her. And this was completely against what my parents believed. In fact, if they would have known it's because we were in a relationship, that would not have probably happened. But I remember my family was so afraid that I was going to get murdered or something. And everything turned out just fine. But, you know, we all have different risks and sacrifices. And I know today's a different age. Maybe I would have different feelings if my son said they were going to go cross country to visit a lover. But, you know, I just think it's really important to realize that everybody is going through something different. And everybody is valid. I think that's a big one. So, like I said, hard discussions in this video, and I'm sure that I meant for it to be lighter. But I just have a lot of strong feelings about it, and I've seen a lot of things over my life, and I don't want other people to go through that. So, I guess this video is like a PSA that I care about you. I believe in you. And if you ever need support, I'm here for you. You know? You can always feel free to reach out to me on Instagram if you'd like. I always have my Instagram in the comments. But I do know what it feels like for people to just put in your face your belief systems. And in this day of age, it is so easy for haters to hate. And I want to choose love. So this is the image that I chose for the fairy tale part. This is some tigers going after meat. And I feel like that represents that struggle of trying to be yourself. You know, when so many people are against you. But you gotta be strong. And you gotta be there for yourself. And really believe in yourself. So I'm gonna put that there for my fairy tale. I've got my positive words in here already. And then let's do some flags in here. So for my hands, I have this with the pans flag. So I'm gonna put that down. And I've got my structures in there already. So let's go ahead and get this glued down. And I also want to put out there that if you are not ready to come out, one of the things that I've always taught people, like whenever I was in leadership for that, is you are in control of you. You don't let people force you to come out. You come out when you're ready. And, you know, you may feel like you'll never be ready. And that's something that is between you, yourself, and your faith. no matter what that faith is. But don't let people push you into something that you're not ready for. I don't think that's good either. Just be you. Everyone's gonna love you, I promise. Okay, so I'm gonna put this little pride flag in the middle here, because I want to keep my peace and grace up here. So I'm gonna kind of do this with it, I think. And this flag is made out of fabric in the picture. There we go. So we'll put this flag right here. And that one kind of looks like it's attached to the building, which is kind of cool. This needs more glue up here. It's not sticking. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. We've got architecture elements, we've got positivity, we've got hands, we've got fabric, we've got our bugs, and we've got something fairy tale. So I've noticed some of the stamping has gone away. So what I might do is I might just re-put those colors back on my plate. I did have some extra things I was thinking about putting in here, but I don't think I will now, because I think it looks okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and re-rainbow my stamps, because Yolande's stamps have now disappeared. And I see Carrie's is still in here, so that looks good. Let's do a bit of orange. And that sometimes happens. Never be afraid to cover up your elements. You never know what's going to happen with it. This yellow I think was almost out, but I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more in there. Might get lucky. Like I said, I don't want those elements to disappear. So I'm just going to re-put them in. And that might tone down the image a little bit too, so that it's not quite so stark. So got a little bit green. Some light blue. And the violet. Whoa, that was a lot of violet. That violet wants to be strong today. Okay. Now what I might do is I might even do like a little strip on the edge here. Just add some paint like that. Just to kind of give it a little bit more. But I want these hearts to be in here for sure. So I really liked them. So let's just gently pat that on there. Covered up the flag a little bit, but I know what's there and I know what it is in my heart. So I don't mind that. And I'm just gonna add a little bit more Carrie in here. Let's do that up here. To let those words stand out a little bit more, I've got the yellow in there. I'm going to go over it with the white. And just trace over her handwriting. Oops, I'm getting paint all over me. Well, that's nothing new. there's grace right here. Oops. My handwriting's getting shaky. Not a good angle. I'm just gonna write pride. Oops. 20. 26. There we go. And like usual, I've got paint all over myself again. That's all right. I'm gonna kind of press this down so that it's not getting all over me again. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about today. Sorry it was a little heavy, but I think it's important, and I think it's worth it to talk about it, because the more that we keep things like sexualities and who we are a secret, I think the more volatile the world's going to become about it. And you shouldn't be afraid to celebrate you. You shouldn't let people push you down about who you are. And I just want to leave this video with a lot of love and support, and a promise that you are not alone. That there are lots of people who either are or have been, you know, in that place of fear, and that you are welcome here. Because I've known a lot of people, and I've lost a lot of people because they didn't think they had the support they needed, and I wish they would have came and talked to me about it first. But I get it. It's your decision. It's your heart. But there's always going to be somebody who cares about you. So with that, I will go ahead and leave you guys. But I hope you have a beautiful day, and if you celebrate Pride, I hope it's your week, your month, your day, baby. Celebrate yourself. And I will see you guys next time. Love you. Bye.